Listen, as your rich bestie Tiff, I'm going to give you right now a piece of business advice, money advice, life advice that if you follow it, it will absolutely pay off. And it took me many years to get to this point. It does not have to take you this many years. You're one decision away from that. And that is to not give so many fucks about what other people are going to think about what you share, about what you say, being so worried that you might offend somebody. I'm not saying to not be compassionate and make sure that you're being respectful of other people's cultures and other people's situations. Like, if you're a respectful person with a genuine heart, you naturally do that, but giving yourself permission to share your opinion on topics, on situations, on matters of the world, it is so exhausting to be muting yourself and to be really drowning it down with all these platitudes and all these surface level emotions because, oh, you don't want to go there, but you resisting being that polarizing as you are behind the scenes between you and your best friend, right? Like behind closed doors. That's the version of you that is going to make people want to listen, want to watch, want to take action, want to evoke them into doing something, whether it's buying from you, whether it's taking an action that's going to better their lives or someone else in their life. And yeah, it's vulnerable because you're actually really being you. And this new thing that we're experimenting with over here, I brought on my dear friend, Regina Lawrence, as my co host. We've never had a co host here on the Project Me podcast. And you're going to hear in this two-part series, like us dish on things, spill the tea on things, and just like you would hear us talk behind closed doors. And let us know what you think about this episode. It should be entertaining to you. It should be riveting, but also you're going to be able to feel the energy out of it. And I'm hoping that you're going to give yourself permission to do the same in your own way with your people in any of the mediums and any of the platforms that you use. And there's one more thing I want you to hear before we get rolling into this. You don't need to do all the things and burn yourself out. You don't need to keep giving more, doing more, being more in order for you to stack substantial cash in your business. You simply need to focus in on a few key income generating activities to scale your business to the big money leagues. And those few things are what you will learn literally step by step in real life, in real time, where you're going to be able to condense what could take you years to learn in spending 2 full days with me and my team, oceanfront here at the beach in California. This will be your best move that you've made in your business in a long time, if ever in your life before, if you really want to set yourself up to stack life-changing cash on a different level. There's plenty of rah-rah business networking events and masterminds where it's like, oh, you get to meet all these great people. And I'm not saying that that's not wonderful and that doesn't give you a boost in the moment. You might even be pumped full of great information and ideas. But then what I notice happens with people, and it's happened to me, is you get home and you have no idea how to prioritize, apply, or implement the information into clear, concrete actions into your business that move the needle. And then you grow more and more overwhelmed and more frustrated with yourself and more defeated. And it's not approved by me. So you don't need more information. You don't even need more injections of inspiration. What you need is to learn how to customize and take action on proven growth strategies in order to get the results you desire. And that is what's happening at my 2-day Project Me Mastermind Experience. All the details, all the testimonials, the registration is at projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. The pre-launch sale pricing is ending soon. So you're going to want to get in here at this pricing. It's $1,000 off. So make sure you press pause, you go there. It's in the show notes, it's in the description here on YouTube, and then come back to the episode. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and I have a co-host, Regina Lawrence, for the first time ever on the show. So you have to let us know if you love it, which I know you will. And we are beachside in Manhattan Beach, California. Like literally, there's people walking by. Now there's a cop car. So you're in store for some wildness today. We are talking about online scams. We are talking about trends that have gone wrong. We have so many stories that neither of us have ever heard from one another. And we're purposely saving them in a shared notes app. So we just put like hints of what it's going to be about. And so even that alone is hysterical. And then we share them live. That's our idea, so that you get a true reaction from the stories. And it's the same reaction you'll have because these stories are on another level. And you're also going to learn stuff. It's like, I feel like what's missing in the space, and like, tell me if what you think about this. Don't you think something that is missing is learning stuff, but why can't it be interesting? Why can't it be funny? Why can't it have a mix of all the things?
Because people feel like they have to be a certain persona. And it's like, you can be the teacher, but you can't be funny. You can be the healer, but you can't be naughty. Like people like
But in reality, though, aren't we all the things?
but people have created these like boxes they want to put us in.
So, is this really our life? This is
Yeah.
crazy. I actually have the better seat. I didn't realize that. I didn't put you there to not have the better seat. You guys, I'm literally staring at the sunset over the ocean, and it's like, but it's like pristine. It's not like a shit sunset.
No,
This
it's
is like a
it's like an epic sunset. The weather is fucking perfect.
wow.
Sitting on Manhattan Beach. People are walking by,
Wow.
very confused about the live talk show. I'm really hoping that somebody like wants to be an impromptu guest.
I hope so too. This goes along with something that we're gonna lead with talking about. It's delusional manifesting. We're actually doing it right now.
I haven't had a thought about delusional manifesting, and I haven't said it to you because I knew we were going to talk about delusional manifesting on the show.
Okay.
I've been thinking, like, how do I delusionally manifest? And I think we have to start delusionally manifesting like men.
I've not gone in that category yet.
Men are fucking delusional, and it serves them.
Wait, you're so right.
Men have this ability that women are often, I think, has been suppressed, where they get an idea, a bonehead idea, and they run with it, and they have that male tunnel vision, and it happens. I think there's a lot of factors that go into this, but I think that's why historically we've seen so much success with men, is because men have this ability. Like, there's nothing like a man who's a 5 pursuing a woman who's a 10, like full speed ahead, and then he gets her because he's fucking delusional.
You are absolutely right.
Yes.
And it's like they believing that, well, why wouldn't I? Like, to the point where it's delusional. Like when you go on a dating app back in the day, anyone remember Plenty of Fish? It was free. And that
Were you on POF?
I was on POF.
I know.
I was on POF and Match. That was like, and I did have, and I tried eHarmony, but they found no matches for me.
I started my eHarmony profile, but there were too many questions and I couldn't finish it.
I mean, that was a lot of work, and I got no matches. I answered honestly, which probably didn't serve me well on that site whatsoever. Where was I going with this?
We were talking about
delusional. And I would open this thing, and I'm telling you, it'd be like 85-year-old men in wheelchairs. And so obviously they put, right, like certain age parameters and categories, and there were like a lot of them. Or it'd be like, even take age out of it, it would be someone that I could bench press with one arm, or something where it was like, okay, I'm not saying you're a good or bad person, but there are levels.
I'm so glad that you brought up POF and Match.com and dating, because I'm in Manhattan Beach visiting Pip right now. and I opened up my Bumble and my Hinge, and I have profiles, but I'm not actively looking for somebody on these profiles.
Okay.
And so the other night I was showing Tiffany the profiles, and I was like I like to call it shopping for men in a new city. And when this happens, like when I'm shopping for men, men will then like me. And the men who like me, I almost texted you today because I was like, am I not as hot as I think I am? Because the guys who are going for me are
They're 90.
they're not what I'd want to date.
Right.
And again, Delulu.
Right.
If they shoot their shot enough, somebody's gonna bite.
Apparently, it must work, because why would you keep going that
It
route?
works for them sometimes because there's this thing where like, and I've done this where I've dated an ugly guy because I'm like, well, an ugly guy will probably be nicer than a hot guy. But you know what I learned? They're just as bad. Sometimes it's more egregious, and my ego is hurt even more because they're ugly.
You're like, listen, I'm the hottest you're ever going to get,
Yeah.
and you're going to do this.
You're gonna go
The audacity.
the fucking audacity of men. The audacity of men.
And like, why? Like, does anyone ever say that about a woman? The audacity of her to think that she could be a CEO of a company, that she could be a millionaire, that she
Yeah.
could have a podcast. No, it's said more about men.
Because men are so audacious, and that's why they a lot of times are master manifestors, and they don't even know it because they delusionally believe that they can make the thing happen. Well, and then they just keep going for it.
Absolutely.
They keep shooting their shot.
It's really no different than what we're doing right now. Regina and I know we're going to be famous.
Yes.
We're going to get one of the biggest podcast offers in history for like a network. Like, I'm not going to say what network I think because I don't want to like give anything away, but I definitely know that that's happening. Like, you have to know, and then you have to take actions from that knowing. If you know without a doubt, you can get the 20-year-old who looks like she came off of an aloe ad, and you're like, you're maybe a 2, right? It's like, then why can't we believe this? And what actions would you take? So we set up like we're doing a show from right here.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? That's the level of Delulu that you need to have. When I think of Delulu, I also always think of Samantha Jones from Sex and the City. There's this one episode, it's in season 1. It's when Mr. Big is introduced. And Harry says something in the narration about the fact that Samantha has this vision of herself that she's like a supermodel, and the bitch goes for whatever she wants and she gets it.
She does get it.
She gets everything.
But she is also hot, though. That's not that delusional.
She's also hot, but she goes for things that like she gets told no for, and she just goes for it with like the reckless abandonment delulu of a man.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Think of things like, think of like an Elon Musk, the audacity to think that we have electric cars and we won't need gas. Like, that's wild, right? Like, so you have to be kind of nuts.
A delulu man. And even think about the Samantha Jones thing. When Carrie had got her book deal and was having a party, and Samantha invited 1 million people, and Carrie was like, what? And Samantha kept saying to her, honey, you're a star. Like, she wasn't famous yet, but she kept saying, you're a star. They couldn't get a reservation at a restaurant. And she goes, I'm a top PR executive and you're a famous writer. And Carrie's like, I'm not a famous writer. But Samantha was so
it's like a
acting.
next level of acting as if.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you really have to have a knowing. How does someone get to a knowing? Because I do not have a knowing in all areas of my life.
Me neither.
I don't have a knowing when it comes to romantic.
Same.
And I don't have a knowing, I'm working on it, when it comes to like how I want to feel in my body.
Yes.
Like, I have way more resistance to getting to knowing.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. For me, I have a deep knowing that we are going to be famous.
I have a deep knowing. I agree.
I have had a knowing in some way I would serve the masses. And from the time I was a little kid, if you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I said, I'm going to be famous.
Wow.
I always said this. Other things I don't have a deep knowing about. Another thing that it has been a developed deep knowing is as I've been healing all the illness and the trauma and the inflammation and the disorders I've had in my body, I have said by the time I'm 40, which is in like a little over 2 years, I was like, I am going to be my fittest, hottest self.
Okay.
I know it,
But you already are that.
but like it's been a journey to get to this.
Yeah.
Like it's been years of healing to get to
Yeah.
this. But I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Like
So you've had a knowing in that area, and then and those I know the receipts because I can see it. So you have the receipts in that. But what's interesting is even though I know this works, because that's truly how I have everything I have today is from delusional manifesting. So I have evidence that it works. So why wouldn't I apply it then to romantic? And why wouldn't I like apply it to my body if I know for a fact it works?
Because you have to start to see the evidence. And if you can't see the evidence, you have to borrow belief from evidence of other things.
And this is why it's so difficult for people with manifesting.
This is like today, like if we're being honest, I had a conversation with you because there's things happening in my business and I feel defeated.
Yeah.
And I am working on having that knowing that the wealth and the abundance is coming. I'm working on it, but I'm not fully there yet.
And so you borrowed from the belief and the trust in me
that it's happening.
Because I've been right where you're at many times. I know what's on the other side, and I wouldn't blow smoke up your ass.
Absolutely not.
Okay, this is a good point. That's why I can believe you. I believe Dr. Jordan. Like, I do believe about the healing and the body, but my brain wants to come up with another lie.
Totally.
Oh, it's because their genes are different. They responded better.
Totally.
Like making up a reason why it worked for you and not me, which is what people do with me about money.
Totally.
And like having the freedom and having the success. I know that's what people do. Oh, well, Tiffany is really well spoken. Tiffany, you know, like they come up with stories, and I get it. Like a lot of people think, oh, Tiffany had a rich husband, Tiffany has alimony, Tiffany must have had a trust fund. Like just like people make up stuff. I'll do that about body stuff. And it's not in like a mean way.
No.
It's like, oh, well, they just have different genes. They have a different body type. Maybe they're more disciplined than me. Yeah. It's interesting.
When I was like really starting my healing journey in my body, I was like, you're just going to be this inflamed forever.
Like, that's how I feel right now.
And it's taken me, since I started my healing journey, I've lost 25 pounds.
I know. I see it in you.
But what 25 pounds ago, I was like, maybe this is just the body I'm going to have.
That's exactly how I feel right now.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt a couple years ago. And it has just been the consistency of being like, no, this has worked for other people. I have seen it work for other people. Like, I know that I am going to be the fittest I've ever been. And I'm going to have energy and I'm going to wake up feeling good, even though I felt like dog shit for the longest time.
Wow. And I have a choice now. I have a choice to believe you and believe in that and believe it for me. Yep. It's not that I don't believe you, and it's not like I don't think people don't believe me when I say things. It's like our belief that it's like I get to have that too.
Yeah, you borrow the belief, just like I get to borrow the belief from you. That you went from making $17,000 a year to be having an 8-figure agency and being a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same belief. We both have to borrow that belief.
What stories have you made up about, and even if it's about me, that's fine, but what have you made up about people who you've seen have what it is you would love to have or a version of it? Interrupting this riveting interview to remind you of something that is long overdue for you to hear. It's actually pretty dang simple to start and grow a business to about $250,000 to $350,000 a year. Grit, determination, and relentless focus will absolutely get you there. The problem is it's not sustainable because you end up trading so much of your time and energy for money that you start feeling burnt out, you start getting resentful towards your business. And then the whole reason of why you created your business in order to, yes, help a lot of people and do something that feels fulfilling and exciting to you. But it's also to make lifestyle changing cash where you have the option to work from where you want, how you want, take the trips you want, pay for private school, donate to your favorite charity. So to scale from the six figures to the high six figures into the millions without depleting yourself and completely burning yourself out, it's a different strategy, skill set, and mindset that are required. The old you that got you to where you are now is not the you that's going to get you to your next level. And we appreciate this old version of you. I absolutely appreciate the old version of me, but we need to do an upgrade to your operating system and the actions that you're focusing on in order to get you different results. So, as long as you're willing and deeply connected to your vision, I'm 100% certain that I can show you the way, as I've done it for thousands of others in over 79 different industries in both my 7 and 8 figure businesses. And that is at my ProjectME Mastermind Experience. This only happens once a year. This is the only way and a rare opportunity to learn from me and my team in person. And this is not an information fest. This is where you are absolutely learning high profit generating skills and will understand very clearly how to apply them and implement them into your business so you can make more and work less. This is how you get your time back. This is how you get to where you want to go faster, is by spending 2 full days with me. And on top of it, it's a tax write-off because you are learning from a high-level business and marketing strategist. The pre-launch sale pricing is about to end, so you're going to want to make sure you swipe up, go in the show notes, go in the description here on YouTube on Project Me TV, or you can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind and grab your spot. We cannot add any more spots once these are gone. And now we're 50% sold out at the time of me recording this. It could be further. So listen, you know what to do. If you're feeling called, you know a move needs to be made and it can't be a small move. Small moves are going to equal small change, small cash. Big moves is where the big bucks happen, as long as you're doing it with intention and openness and willingness. And I am here and happy to guide you and show you the way.
It depends on the person that it is. If I see a girl on Instagram or TikTok that's just this hot little thing that maybe used to be a bikini competitor, or used to like her body used to be like where her income came from, I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, of course she's successful. Look at her. She looks great.
I think a lot of people do that, whether they say that or not.
Yeah. It's easy for me to look at somebody who's super attractive and be like, well, yeah, of course. Like, people could look at Alex Earle and say, oh, well, she's so
young, she's
beautiful,
hot,
she's
she
from a
can,
wealthy
yeah.
family. But the reality of all of that is true. And whenever her boyfriend talks about her, he said, I've never seen anybody that works
And she's
as hard as her."
working constantly.
She's putting out like 6 TikToks a day.
And it's her, it's not like she has this whole team.
No, it's literally
She's editing it. She just doesn't show that, which I think's interesting. I would like for her to show more. Some people have no idea what Alex Earle is. Just picture like one of the top influencers on TikTok, and she has a big podcast. And we just have a lot of respect for her because as a content creator, like so much goes into this.
She posted like a day in the life the other day, and it was like truly her day in the life, what she ate, what she was doing. And at one point, she was on Zoom calls from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., she said. And in between being on Zooms from 10 to 5, she created 5 or 6 pieces of content for TikTok.
Yeah.
It's a girl that's working hard.
Yeah. And that's the part that we like. And sometimes people don't show it for whatever reason. They don't show as much of that. It's not interesting. It doesn't get the views. It doesn't get the likes. People think it doesn't get the sales.
Yeah.
But like, you can come up with whatever story you want. That someone has a rich husband, someone has a certain skill set. People think that I'm just like Tiffany has all this confidence or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But I've also taken the risk and done the things and continue to bet on myself and invest on myself.
Yep.
Over and over and over again. A lot of people say they want something, whether it's to feel better in their body, whether it's the love of their life, whether it's the money and the abundance and all of that. whether it's even inner peace
Yeah.
and like being able to calm their mind, but they don't take the actions to do the thing.
When I tell you guys that like I have been in the shit this week with my life and my business, and I've been questioning all these things, and today we were talking about it, and like I'm still actively doing things. Like I was telling Tiffany earlier, I have 3 alarms that go off on my phone to remind me to take time every day to speak out into existence what I'm calling into my life. And even though I felt in the shit, there were tangible actions that I needed to take today that are going to help me get to the next level. And I didn't want to do any
And
of
she
them.
did, and she did them.
Yes.
And neither of us actually wanted
We
to
didn't
do
want
any
to
of
do
them.
any of it.
I could have easily done nothing all day.
Yeah.
Like, and really, and we did it anyway. That's true, and a lot of people just won't do it anyway.
No.
Let's talk about the online digital scammers.
So Tiffany and I developed a term of art called the digital Ponzi scheme. It has come to our attention that a lot of our colleagues in the digital marketing space are running a digital Ponzi scheme. I'm going to talk about the social media side, and I'd love for you to talk about the podcast side of it.
Okay,
So
we'll
the
go for
social
it.
media side of the digital Ponzi scheme is, I don't know if you guys know this, you might have some awareness around it, but you can buy followers on social media platforms. You can buy likes, you can buy followers, you can buy views. And what I've realized in owning a social media marketing agency is that people are buying likes, followers, and views because they feel as though it makes them look more important. It makes them look like somebody you are admiring, and you're like, oh my gosh, this person has a blue check mark and they have 200,000 followers and they get, oh my God, 45,000, 100,000, a million views on a reel. And they have all these comments like, wow, they're really doing it. They're not doing it because they're buying it. And the problem with it is that they're using that clout to get things from other people, to get access to other people's audiences. Let's say, for example, let's say I purchased my following and I had 100,000 followers and all these likes and all this engagement, and I want to get on one of the top 5 podcasts in the world. And so I pitch them. And part of pitching them is submitting something that says, this is how many followers I have. This is my active engagement. This is my reach, showing the metrics. Well, that would show this person with top 5 podcasts, wow, this girl really has
I've fallen for it before when we get pitched.
an incredibly engaged audience. It would serve me to have her on because then I could get exposure to her audience and she could get exposure to mine. There's an energetic exchange there. We're sharing audiences to gain reach. But I don't actually have that reach because mine is a bunch of men in the Middle East who have spam bot accounts. So I am running a digital scam.
Total scam.
And the same thing is happening.
And I'm thinking on the other end that it's a fair exchange or a reasonable exchange, right? Like we're serving each other's audiences. I don't feel used. I'm getting something out of it. You're getting something out of it. But only one of us is getting something out of it.
One person is gaining and the other person doesn't know because they're being lied to.
I've absolutely fallen for it. But not, I can tell when people have fake followers, but it's the people who really invest in it and they go deep with the fake comments. And that's where it's like, but that's where it gets wild to me. And I'm not saying every single person who has an account that's highly engaged that they're fake. I'm just saying it's more people than you realize.
It's a lot more people. And it's people that you follow who tout how well they've built their following. They might even be selling you a digital marketing course.
Yep.
Teaching you how to grow organically. And it's all a scam.
Or they'll say the lines of, I grew all of this without ads. I grew all this organically.
They did grow it without ads because they purchased it.
Yep.
And they're scamming you and you're buying their courses and joining their masterminds and paying to play in their groups. and they're lying to you.
It's interesting. It's like, and there's an onus on the consumer who's buying it.
Totally.
Like, right, there is an onus on me falling for that. It comes out of ego, right? Like, I definitely also want to, it's not right, but it's like, it comes with a whole thing, just like a Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah.
There's the greed. You know that you're not going to get 15% returns guaranteed on an investment. Okay. Yet some of the biggest names in the world fell for Bernie Madoff.
Exactly.
Right? Like, because they thought Bernie's, oh, he's a billionaire and he's rubbing elbows with Bill Gates and all these other people. And so maybe he's an anomaly because of greed, right? And like we fall for stuff out of ego. Like we have to own our part. It's kind of like, oh, this person must have a secret.
Yeah.
They have a secret sauce. I've had clients that after I've coached them, instead of implementing what they learned from one of my programs or me, will go hire one of these people thinking that's easier. Like Tiffany is great. I believe in, like, I learned her way. That's wonderful. But instead of implementing my way that works, because it sounds like, you actually have to do some things, they'll go for the get rich quick.
Exactly.
Hence the network marketing.
Exactly.
Scam.
Well, but the same thing happens with podcast episodes.
Oh, yeah. So with podcasts, fun fact, I just learned this from my podcast producer who has the receipts and has no reason to make this up to me, that the same thing happens with podcasts.
Yep.
You can buy downloads. You can buy fucking reviews.
Yep.
You can surge downloads to make it look like you're topping the charts. But it's all held up by toothpicks. It's all crap. Because if you're someone who is a podcaster, okay, you do look, of course you look, right? Just like a musician looks to see where they're at, like, and they ran a chart, okay? So you do look. It's not like I look every day, but I do look. I like now when I'm at the top of the charts. And I will see, I will not name names, but I will see there's a couple people for sure, and they're females, that I'm like, there is no fucking way that this person is topping like a Mel Robbins consistently. Not possible, not approved, no way. And it's terrible. It's not good. It's not good. And it just never made sense to me. And it would kind of mess with me sometimes, because I would go like, is there something I don't like understand here? I've even, you guys, paid a lot of money to learn from one of these people, because I thought, I'm humble and willing, right? Like maybe there is like a unique way, a trick. There's something, maybe there's something I need to be doing, like, or that I'm not aware of. Yeah. No. And then what they do is, back to the digital Ponzi scheme. They use that to pitch shows like mine. Okay. I'm top 7 podcasts in the US for 17 weeks in a row. And you're like, oh, okay. Like this person has a legit show. Yeah. So they do it to either get guests, and I'm even talking celebrity guests, and they do it to also get on other people's shows, like a podcast swap or whatever. And then we look at people, we vet deeply, as Virgos do. Yeah. And I always look to see, like, on the reviews on the show, right? Because you're not regularly topping the charts and not having, you don't have to have thousands of reviews, but there should be some recent reviews, not from 2 years ago. Yep. And these people have reviews. So that's what I bought into. But you can buy reviews, just like you can buy comments. And I was shooketh over this.
Shooketh. When you called me last week and told me about this, like, I just think in business, when you use common sense, if anything seems too good to be true to your common sense, it usually is. This is often and also why I struggle with network marketing and network marketers.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. And like, you guys feel free to also DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany, DM Regina. Everything's in the show notes. I thought that isn't network marketing just a new and nice way to say multi-level marketing?
It is.
It's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
It's no different.
It's no
They just
different.
came up with a new term because the connotation of MLM is like a pyramid scheme. It's
Exactly.
bad. But ultimately, is it not a pyramid scheme or is that something different?
I feel like for something to be a true pyramid scheme, it has to be something to the effect of like everybody at the top is making money and no one at the bottom
Okay.
is
So then
making
it's
money.
okay. So then the ones that we're thinking about are not.
They're not.
But
But
I
they
will,
are multi-level marketing companies.
I mean, and here is the truth. If you're even making 100,000 a year, even 70,000 a year, even 60,000 a year, I'm talking you are literally top 2%.
Yeah.
So it is
There's
rare.
there's this dumb ass quote that network marketers like to put out that the top 1% of women, have you ever heard this, who are making over $100,000 a year, that make over six figures, make it from network marketing? Have you ever seen this like quote
No,
that network marketers love to post?
no. Are we going to talk about the fact that you have participated in the network
Oh,
marketing?
my first foray. Oh, this is why I have these strong opinions. My first foray into entrepreneurship was working for a very popular network marketing company. And I started doing it and I wasn't having success. I am a Virgo. I am an Enneagram 3. I am a lawyer. If I want to do something, bitch, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I struggled so much with network marketing. And I realized in hindsight that I struggled with network marketing because I'm not a master manipulator.
You're right. You are exactly. You have to and listen, I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I would like to discuss the love bomb tactic. Those of you who've been privileged to date, be raised by, have a close encounter to a narcissist know what I mean by the love bombing.
Yes.
And it starts like this in the digital way. I know there's ways people do it like in real life, i.e., a lot of people do this with their church.
Yep.
There's a lot of church involved, as I've found. So they will DM, they will like and comment, like I'm talking, be a super fan on all your stuff. And it feels really good. Who doesn't want to have a super fan?
Yep.
Now, being raised by a narcissist and having gone through a shit ton of recovery around it, I can feel a spidey sense when someone's doing that to me. And I get the ick.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, then I'll make an excuse as a codependent does, like, God, Tiffany, you're so jaded. Like this person, your content is good, so why wouldn't someone be a super fan of you? I'm being serious.
No, I know.
And like, but then they go that far. Then they actually start shouting you out when they really want you, when they think you could be a big dog for them, a business builder for them. And that's what I've
right
definitely
leg or
been
your left
targeted
leg?
for, right? Exactly. I've been targeted, which makes sense, right? I would have targeted me too if I was in it. And then they'll shout you out.
Yep.
They might even ask you to speak at one of their
They'll
events.
share your
I'm
stuff on
talking, it
social.
goes deep where you're like, okay. And then just when you think this person could be like a solid business friend of mine, like a fellow female entrepreneur, like I like this person, like this is really cool, like I really love this. Then it swoops in. And then it swoops in with, it goes into the pitch at some point.
Wait, so as you were just talking about the network marketing, I just had a memory I never shared with you. When I was a network marketer, because I wanted to be a good network marketer, I took sales trainings. And in our sales training, we were taught you find somebody who you maybe went to high school with, went to college with, go to their profile, study them, study what they're doing. Do they have kids? What's going on in their life? Start to engage on their posts. Then you follow them. You eventually, a week or two later, you send them a DM. Hey girl, how are you? Oh my gosh, I just saw that you had a baby. How is she doing? You study their life like a narcissist would, so that way you can speak to them about their life, make it seem like you care, You build up, and they would give you a timeline. You build up the relationship for about 30 days. They would tell you to calendar for follow-ups. And then you start to pitch after a month of build up. I completely forgot about this.
I am shook.
This is what they would teach in sales network marketing training.
I mean, I've definitely been on the receiving end, and I can tell you it actually is very hurtful. And I know other people who've been hurt too. When you're someone who's like a genuine person with a, with a big heart, especially someone who has been abandoned by people before, like me, where I don't have any family.
Yeah.
And you think someone's like, oh, this could be like a person, like maybe even an inner circle person.
No.
And then it was really for the ask, or what has happened to me is at some point they realize there is not a chance that Tiffany Carter is going to do this because wouldn't make business sense to her. Like,
right.
She makes way more money selling her own stuff. It like doesn't even make sense.
No.
Like they realize like I'm on a different plane. That's not a possibility.
Yeah.
Then they either ghost or they take their foot so far off the gas, which feels very abandoning.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck happened to this person? You end up feeling used.
Because you were.
I don't like it.
No.
So why are these network marketing companies what's going on? I don't understand. Why is everyone up in arms? Are they going bankrupt?
No. So what happens is, from how I understand it, and I might not explain this perfectly, but this is how I understand it, is that when the FCC is investigating these companies, they want to see.
Or no, it's FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Yeah. Okay.
When they're investigating these companies, they want to see what percentage of people are actual business builders and what percentage of people are customers or clients. And if all of the business builders, if it's all business builders and no customers, that indicates to them that it's like closer to what was the phrase?
The pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme, exactly. And so you see these companies. So like I was in a company, and while I was there, they switched how they said things. So you could purchase product and never build a business, and it was very clear. And at any point, you could switch from being a customer to being a business builder. But they started to create a delineation between customers and business builders. So recently, we're seeing companies where what I think is happening is the FTC is coming in, they're doing an investigation, they're seeing a big amount of people who are business builders and not enough customers. And instead of shutting the company down, the company literally Friday will send an email to people who've been building businesses that say, on Monday, we will now be a direct-to-consumer company.
Meaning it could be like any packaged good company.
Exactly.
Like there is no business building.
Direct-to-consumer. Advocare did that.
And that's all you are. Meaning like it's like I can go to an online store and buy it. I don't have to buy a certain quantity.
Exactly.
I can't even be a business builder.
The business builders are gone. So that
oh my God.
This business, and say you're the rare person who's making $100,000 a month on Friday, on Monday, you don't have a
literally that's gone.
Yeah.
Except for, is it gone even if you have customers?
It's gone. It's you completely lose the
and
to make money.
You sign off on that though. There's ownership on the other person where, that's not your company. I know a lot of network marketers try to like kind of pose as entrepreneurs.
If you're a network marketer, you are not a CEO. You are a sales associate.
Right.
Works for somebody else's company. You can be a high paid sales associate, and that's great, but you are not a CEO, because on Friday you could get an email that says you are not a sales rep for us anymore. And on Monday the model is changed.
And since I think there's two big companies now that back to back have done this.
Yeah.
Don't you think now for that entire network marketing industry, now it's all fucked?
It's all fucked.
Because now, even if someone really was delighted and excited to do this, why would they continue doing it or even join a network marketing company knowing that the network marketing company is within legal rights to stop all of it, change the payment structure at any given time for any reason?
Because It's their company and you are contracted.
And you are agreeing to that in the gazillion pages you sign when you start in order to like make the money off from it.
Exactly.
Wow. I think the industry is now going to be dead.
I think so too. Also, like the whole model of auto shipped products.
Do you ever pick auto ship on Amazon? I get
No.
anxiety, and even if it benefits me, I get anxiety clicking it.
So I am very good about taking my supplements. I would say
Same. I'm
I
highly compliant.
I'm better than most people. You know, my vitamin C jizz.
There's this brand. Can you imagine the testimonial? It's like a really well flavored cum shot. That's
So
the
good.
the consistency of it.
Yes.
And now I'm making it for some of you. Now you really want to try it. Some of you are going, I'm never
If you're
trying it.
done with taking like pills, it's this, and it's a better way for your body to digest it. Anyway, I was on auto ship for them and getting my supplements every 30 days. I had to stop the auto ship because as good as I am about my supplements, I was starting to have an overstock.
And did it give you anxiety?
It didn't give me anxiety, but I was like, I don't want to have all these supplements that I haven't consumed yet. And so the whole business of a multi-level marketing company is that you get quote unquote consistent residual income.
And you get it's mandatory auto ship.
It's mandatory auto
I
ship.
forgot about that.
No, you can do it where it's not mandatory auto ship, but you pay higher prices.
I mean, let me tell you,
Yeah.
and I don't care. I'm gonna say it. There's some Ice of Delights found in my fridge
gosh.
today.
I saw
Okay.
these lights in her fridge.
And you know what? Probably why, and I'm sure they're very expired, but probably why I haven't thrown them out is that motherfucking box of chocolates, okay, is $50.
Yeah,
I'm not joking you.
I used to live on
They're $50.
I know how much they are.
And I, of course, was on auto ship because the deal that is made is definitely very attractive. And I had a plethora. I mean, like, because then I would travel or something,
Yep.
or I'd get sick
Yep.
and not use them.
Totally.
And I'm talking like stockpiled.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time getting rid of things that I know I like paid good money for. Like something like that where you can't really I don't think you can donate the shakes.
I had a whole
Can you?
You could probably, a food shelter might take it. I had a whole back stock of Isogenics products that moved with me to 2 houses because I didn't want to get rid of them.
I moved the Ice of Delights 3
I
times.
thought like, well, at some point, like maybe I'm going to want to, I don't know. I had all these stories and finally I was like, you didn't even like these when you sold them. Like, why are you going to keep them? So I threw all of them out. Kiki and I threw them all out. Because we both had a back stock.
Do you think people really like these products, or does one drink the Kool-Aid on it? You know, when you're really in it. Wow, you really look right now like Kim Kardashian. No, you really do.
Wow.
The ocean's behind. You look really expensive.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You really look
Oh
expensive.
my gosh.
I wish you guys could see
That's
this.
because we're famous.
I wish you could see this. The sun has set, as I'm sure if you're watching on YouTube, ProjectME TV on YouTube, you have seen that the lights have gone down, which is giving me anxiety, just so we all know.
But like the light on the
It still looks good on the screen.
I'm happy about this.
And I want it to stay that way. And so the sunsets here last forever. The ocean is like perfect behind her. She has her amazing mane of hair. She has like a glow to her skin since we've been like walking a lot. It's just the way you're sitting, the long nails.
My nails are very long.
Have
you ever seen them this long?
I've never seen them this long, but I like them.
It's new with my rebrand.
It's basically like a Coke nail, but on
Yeah.
each nail.
Yeah. I'm very into this.
I'm very into it. This is very, speaking of nails.
Yes.
Wow. Now I'm impressed with this segue. This is like newscaster Tiff segue.
That was
This is why I got paid
excellent.
$17,000 a year, people, to be on the news. So you had your pandemic era
Yes.
of Regina.
I had a pandemic. We just got a light.
Oh my God.
We
I
just
hope
got a
that
light.
stays on.
So Tiffany and I were talking about our pandemic eras and, you know, the things that we did during the pandemic. And I learned I'm thrifty and I want things. If I can't get my nails done or I can't get my lashes done, Like I struggle. And my mental health was already really bad during the pandemic. I also was I was having a lot of pandemic sex.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
So while
about that.
everyone was
That's right.
masking and wearing masks, I was fucking
So
strangers.
you also wanted to like
I had
keep
to
your
look
shit
good.
up.
I had to look good.
You weren't the person that turned into a Sasquatch like I did.
No. And so I couldn't get my regular Brazilians. So I started Brazilian waxing myself in my living room. Imagine this. Sex in the City reruns are playing. I have a giant mirror that I'm holding between my legs, and I am watching Sex in the City and waxing my butthole.
And like, how did you like? Did it hurt less because you did it that way?
I learned a lot of lessons along the way of my black market waxing experience. I learned the thinner the strip, the better.
Oof.
I learned to not have the hair too long. I learned the right temperature for the wax.
So you did this many times.
I did it every 4
Do
weeks.
you still do this now?
I don't. I actually started getting lasered.
Oh, okay.
And I've been lazy about it because the laser I was going to was really painful.
They are painful.
But I've heard
I've been
there's new
lasered.
lasers that are not as painful. So that's my next endeavor. But I black market Brazilian wax for many months.
Wow.
Many months. And I got so good at it that I started to offer it to my friends.
Did anyone take you up on
No, and
this?
I really
Not
didn't.
even Kiki?
No, and I wanted to wax her butthole, and she
I
wouldn't let
can't
me.
believe she wouldn't let you.
She would have let me, but she was in Philadelphia and I was in Arizona. But I said to her, like, she was coming to visit, and I was like, we had a conversation, and I said, hey, don't shave. I'll wax you.
This is when, this is like your skill that you developed in the pandemic. Not all of us had that pandemic moment, but I will say that what didn't work for me, there's certain things that I realize like really bring me joy. One are my nails.
Yes.
Two is that I did not give nail techs enough credit that there's a reason why they have to get like a certification to do this.
Yes.
Me doing it myself didn't go well. I was so desperate. I went to an underground nail spa run by my gangster OG, shout out John, nail guy who was like who I forced to write one of my first podcast reviews. And John he's a hustler. Like, I mean, he's like, he came from Vietnam. He's like, I gotta make money.
Yeah.
And he was gonna like lose everything, like the house he just got. And so to his clients that like he felt like
Safe with,
would get it, like be a safe bet, which is very risky because it's not like his English was great. Like very difficult to pick up nuances in a language that's not your native language. And I had to drive like 25 minutes.
Where was he doing this?
He had like lots of rules. You had to go through the front door. You had to bring a gift, something that looked like a gift, as though I was coming to like, a family barbecue.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
He went
because people saw you.
Because he would have lost his esthetician or whatever it's called, his nail tech license and probably his business license. Wow. This was a full illegal operation. This motherfucker, I mean, also it was hot it was in the garage. They didn't give a shit. They had the wax pot on. Yep. They had 3 stations. This was wild.
Wow.
I mean, this was crazy. And then when you left, only one person could exit at a time.
Of course.
And you couldn't like exit one after another. Like there would be a pacing of how you could exit.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? I did it many times.
I love it.
I didn't care. But one thing that I shouldn't have done, and you can go look at it. It's on TikTok. I don't know how it made it on there. I probably didn't catch it, and Sam just posted it. And it is a face-to-camera video of Tiffany in the peak of the pandemic. Like, not the early peak, but when it was like we all thought it was over, and then we all got locked down again. And I had to do something about my eyebrows. I mean, they were unruly. Like, it was really bad. It was like listen, plucking wasn't going to cut it.
No.
Like something had to happen at that point. And I drank a lot of wine and I smoked a lot of ganj. And I was, because it's painful to me. I got some coarse ass hairs. And I took a magnifying mirror and I was like, I printed off from Anastasia, the famous eyebrow lady's website. She has like free templates you can get, like a stencil. I taped the stencil, taped the stencil to my face, like with scotch tape. And I was like, used an eyeliner pencil. So I was like, I'm going to follow Anastasia. How hard could that be? If you want to go see it, you will know exactly what video. I mean, you do have to go deep. I think it has 157,000 views. So a lot of people have seen it.
Oh my gosh.
And there's definitely a lot of comments about the eyebrows.
Oh my gosh.
One was very different from the other.
Cousin.
And what's funny is I had eyebrow blindness because if it was that bad, I would have never been doing face to camera videos, or I'd have been wearing a hat really low. So I didn't see it.
It's good that you didn't know, so you kept doing the thing.
I didn't know a lot of things during the pandemic. This was not, I was not, you were kind of thriving.
I mean, I at first was not thriving, and then I also lived in Arizona. So like the pandemic didn't exist in Arizona.
Okay.
And that like everything was open.
Oh,
except
okay.
for all of our like beauty stuff.
I see.
So I was like sneaking around, like sneaking to go meet boys, and I was waxing my own butt crack. And
yeah, you were definitely like not. I mean, I definitely turned into like a Sasquatch.
Yeah,
this was if I were to say my worst adult era in terms of looks, it was definitely pandemic Tiff.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's okay.
You know what got really ratchet for me during the pandemic? My hair.
Did you have
did
you have them in at the time?
I had extensions in, and the hair I got put in before was hair I'd never gotten before. I can find there's a video I found of it, and it's just like breaking off. And
you were holding on to that hair for dear life.
Holding on to it, even if I had to wear it in a bun, I was not getting rid of the hair. Not getting rid of it. No way. You can take my fucking fingernails. You can take my eyelashes, but you are not taking.
I was going to ask you, everyone has like their thing. Like, what is the thing that if you could only pick one thing that you had to make, yours is your hair? Only one.
Oh no.
Only one. I'm not, let's just call it, it's a 10-year period and there's only one thing you can maintain and the rest is like, it's not going to happen. The rest is definitely going rogue.
I think it might be Botox. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
If I had to give up my hair extensions, I would start doing the daily scalp massage with the rosemary oil.
Yeah.
If I would start using Latisse on my lashes, and I would grow my fingernails. But Botox, there's nothing that's going to freeze these lines.
I don't know what I look like without it. That's how long it's been.
I start to see the slightest little crease, and I need to get it.
I really don't know what I look like, and I'd rather not.
Me too. Everything else I could like grow. I could grow my nails. I could grow my lashes. I could grow my hair. I can't smooth my forehead.
It's so, and I know all of you had an answer to this, and there's some of you that want to say like,
I want to know your answers to this.
Like, I would be fine. It would be freeing. And I will say there were some things that felt a little freeing in the pandemic, but then it turns on you.
It does.
It starts affecting like your self-esteem. I didn't feel as feminine.
Same. Yeah.
Not a fan of that. Well, let's move to, we have, like I said at the top of the show, did you have more to say on this? I'm sorry.
What I was going to say is this. So if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you're going to see that our light is like going. Tiffany had said, well, something that we're doing is we have a shared note, and we're writing things in the shared note with one another, and we're not allowed to tell each other what it's about until we're on the podcast. My question for you right now is, I know we were going to share one of our...
No, we can't. The light is gone.
But you know what I think we should share?
What?
I think we should tell them, give them a
Oh, like the
like the
what we put
topic.
in, like what we put in the note.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then at the beginning of the next episode, we'll share our 3 stories that we haven't told one another and get the reactions.
And only things that make this cut are things that, like, obviously we would think that you would find funny.
We look at our shared note and we don't know.
Like, if I'm having a bad day, I look at it. So, like, here's mine. Okay. Mine is when I took my daddy issues too far and it involved a gaddy. I went too far with it. I tend to date older men. My father was much older than my mother, and Tiffany went down Gaddy Town. That's the headline.
My headline is related to this but different. Mine is about a 70-year-old man last month, pop up, I like to call him, who wanted to be my next lover and propositioned me at a jewelry trade show.
This goes back to the delusion.
Delulu.
And he still probably thinks, why wouldn't you? I bet he's very talented.
Well, that was the bag of goods he tried to sell me.
I bet he's talented. He's well practiced. Wow. Well, this will be interesting.
This will be an interesting episode. We look like on YouTube.
Look at
like ghosts.
Oh my God, that's so weird. But you guys watched. Drop below if you love this. And those of you who are listening, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, take a screenshot and share it in your Instagram stories. Tag me at Project Me with Tiffany. And you can tag Regina at
Regina A. Lawrence.
At Regina A. Lawrence. Let us know if you're liking the episodes and what else you'd want us to, like, spill the tea on. I mean, we have way more tea. We're testing the waters with this.
We've got a lot of
like
tea.
How hot and how deep and how strong do you want the tea to be? Yeah. Because I'm willing to go much stronger.
We could go piping hot, but we want to know, is this what you want to hear from us?
Right. Like, why why spill it? Like, why even do that?
Yeah, we don't want to spill it if you don't want to drink it.
So. Exactly. Well said. All right. Well, wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Signing off from the deck, and see you for part 2.